I know people don't leave voicemails no more, but if you don't leave no voicemail, it ain't important.
I keep looking down at this glass. I might as well have some.
Welcome back, everybody, to Hella Melanated. As mentioned before, if you didn't already look at our previous video, this is the second part 2 of the 2-part series, and we were basically discussing people's New Year's resolutions, what they're trying to change about themselves
how they
this
could
year.
Do it.
Yep, how they couldn't do it, or some things that they can start to tackle. So our previous episode was about physical changes and physical goals that you wanted to accomplish, and this episode is going to be about mental goals. Okay, all about that mindset, all about your brain, all about how you can change your mindset and make some things work and shape for you. Okay,
about the mind and the soul.
Right.
Talked about the body.
Right. So we already talked about the body, and now it's talking about what can you do internally for yourself to make sure that you are at least starting on the right track, or like trying to try something new. That's all the New Year's all about, I guess, for me. It's trying something new, trying to do some things differently that you weren't already doing.
See what you like and don't like.
Yeah, see what you don't like, what you do like, and then just go with it and try to make it a habit. So we'll first start off by telling y'all, some hours. So what is one of your mental goals you want to try?
So for me is probably how I talk to myself. Focusing on more like self-affirmations. I listen to some affirmations on YouTube. I've found some to be as like 10 hours long, and I listen to those throughout the day, especially at night when I'm, winding down for the evening. And to hear some of the affirmations told, I've like felt uncomfortable hearing them because I've never heard them. Never heard them before.
That will change.
I deserve that.
Right.
You're telling me I deserve that?
Right.
Really? And I think the hardest critic is myself.
Yeah.
I have this way of stopping myself from doing something because of fear.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
That's it. That fear.
I like a good affirmation, and even if it's from another individual, even if it's something that you happen to hear like somebody else saying out loud, not necessarily that it's targeted to you, but the fact that somebody said it, so it's like, wow, like people out there do really think this way, or people actually think something of me. And a lot of people, they get nervous, like you were saying, or they feel like they don't deserve it. When in actuality, everybody deserves something. A little piece of something, a little piece of happiness, a little piece of joy, some acknowledgement, some accreditation.
But mine
for things
can be
do.
so strong to be like, you don't deserve that.
See,
it can be so strong to be where I don't deserve it, and then I'm also nervous. I tell people to stop because then I feel like, I guess, more pressure and to take that compliment, and to like, how are you able to see something in myself that I don't really even see in myself, or it just comes naturally to me. Like,
have you ever tried to ask the individuals that give you the affirmations like why they felt, or what? Like, I know I've gotten to the point
I felt so uncomfortable not to even ask.
Oh, so I'm the opposite. Like, for a long time I had a hard time receiving criticism, just like everybody else. But then I started turning it around and like, okay, well, could you explain to me why you felt that way, or what does me doing that, like, how does that impact you? Or if someone gives me an affirmation, it's like, well, thanks, but I didn't know that I was making that kind of impact on you.
That's cool.
And so just having that explanation behind it, gives you, and you sit down and you look and you're like, well, I do those things, so that would make sense why somebody would tell me that or whatever. And so I start to process it a little bit differently, instead of second guessing it or making assumptions about why somebody.
See, I already handle the criticism of myself. Like, I got the criticism down to a pack for myself, so I already know my wrongs. So I think I focus on more of my wrongs than the actual goods that I do offer.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
So,
that makes sense.
That's why I'm working on it.
Well,
that's why I have affirmations, baby. This things be like, whoa, really? I deserve that?
Yeah. A good affirmation is good. And even if it's not about yourself personally, but it's about something that you're doing in the future, or something about your past, just the ability to let go. I think one of the things when it came to affirmations, I knew nothing about her until my mom introduced her to me. But Iyanla Van Zant, She's a great individual that gives affirmations to people who are struggling with something. Or like what you were saying, struggling with saying, I accept that. And I feel like she does a great job.
Is that woman that's the short hair?
Yeah, she's short hair. She's black. She's written a lot of books. She does the counseling for families.
She reminds me a lot of my mother.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I mean, to have a song like that.
If I have to say, she reminds me a lot of my mother. I think sometimes her approach can be really harsh, but then when you actually watch the episode, you can see that she's just giving back the same energy that person and then so then you're like,
I think her approach is I think her approach is what people need. A lot of people feel like, oh, like you shouldn't talk down to me or you shouldn't be coming at me with aggression, but it's like, well, the soft ways haven't worked for you,
right?
So maybe I'm gonna try this different approach for you, right, or whatever. So anyway, we won't go on no rant about no Iyanla, honey. Right. If you don't know who she is, go ahead and check her out. I'm quite sure everybody in the world knows her.
Come on, because all the memes about her, okay, there are plenty.
She's a real OG, and I appreciate everything that, even watching it, sometimes you're just like consumed by the things that she has to say because it's her delivery also for me.
I'm telling you, my mama.
Okay, so
I live with that woman. Gotcha. Okay, I live with that woman.
Anyway, go check her out if you want to hear some affirmations.
Yes,
but one of my mental goals is to continue. I started meditation last year when I got into yoga. Okay. Because
deep breathes, remember that?
Deep breathes.
Last episode.
So they kind of went hand in hand, but I stopped doing the meditation. Okay. But I want to pick it back up, and so I say that because sometimes I'm always not sometimes, all the time I'm always on the go. If you know me, I'm always doing something. I'm trying to keep myself busy. I've always been a busybody, but sometimes I need to hold back and just reflect and just breathe and just let myself be in the day, in the moment, in the present. I try to plan ahead so much that it's like overwhelming, so I have to take that time to say, okay, you've done enough for everybody else. Let's do something for yourself. Right. Let's take a moment to breathe, de-escalate something.
How long do you take that time? How long is it? 30 minutes?
It's usually when I was doing it last year, it was like 30 minutes. So I think the 30-minute time is good enough for me because I also because I'm such a busybody, trying to find out what time works best for me because sometimes I'll get lost. Right. And then I have to bring myself back to the meditation. I'm like, girl, I'm thinking about other stuff. Like, come on, get yourself back together. Okay. So meditation. And a lot of people just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna meditate. It's not that hard to just be like, if you've never done it before, it's not that hard to go and do meditation. You really have to be able to tone everything else out. Right. Train yourself not to think about nothing. Right. Like it's just you.
I had to fall asleep.
See, that's what I mean. You have to know.
Really falling asleep.
You have to know what's your time limit.
Ooh, come on now, five deep breaths, because that's how I help myself go to sleep. Okay. So if I do a couple of them, I'm like dozing off, like, hey, I'm relaxed. But I wake up refreshed. I will say that though. Yes. I will say that I wake up very refreshed and ready to go. Right.
So yeah, that's just like a little habit I'm trying to practice. But some other things. So those are just like my main.
Are you gonna keep it at 30 minutes? Or are you gonna?
You know what? It just depends. Okay. I don't mind keeping it at 30, or maybe I'll do split it up. Maybe I'll do 15 in the morning, 15 at night. So that way that's a total of 30. Good. I'm not spending too much time on it, but I'm getting it in. Gotcha. But I feel like I only really do it when I know that my body needs it. You know what I mean? Because too much meditation is like, I don't want to lose my energetic self because I'm trying to tone myself down. Right. But I feel like I would probably just do it maybe once or twice a week. And that's it. Not like every day. I'm trying to do it every day. Okay. But once or twice a week, that break
and that's
it up.
Enough.
That's enough. Okay. That's enough for me. Like I said, you got to figure out what works best for you and your schedule and your body. But for me, it's going to be twice a week, 15 in the morning, 15 at night. Gotcha. And I'm trying to hold myself accountable. Because sometimes you be slipping down the cracks and you be like, yeah, that's a problem with these resolutions. You want to try.
The accountability is something.
The accountability is, okay. First of all, you want to try it and you ain't done it before, and then you give up when you say that ain't what I'm used to. Right. But you really got to stick it out. Right. Stick it out. So anyway, so that's ours. What do you think, or what other things have you heard? Mitch, I think what we're doing here is different. A lot of people don't categorize things when they do resolutions.
This is my first year to really do that though.
Separate.
You
usually just put them.
Yeah,
I got three main.
When we were brainstorming about these topics, these two topics, and you were like, hey, let's break it up into 2 parts. I was like, wow, I never thought that you could even break up your goals into physical and mental. So I found that really cool, but to be able to focus on that, I think that's new in itself for this year. So again, accountability is something that, it's something, and I think for me, I'm listening to the Audible, The Power of Habit.
Okay. So I've seen that one. Haven't listened to it, but I've seen it.
I'm starting to listen to it, and it's interesting. Very
I definitely think that's something like I said, every year I try to challenge myself to do something a little bit different. And a lot of people don't separate things into categories, and it's important to know, even when it comes to other things in life, when it comes to diets, when it comes to relationships, when it comes, being able to separate things and put them in their places is something that a lot of people don't do often.
They don't.
So I know some other mental things that we were talking about. In addition to meditation, sometimes you just need quiet time.
Yeah, quiet time.
A good quiet moment. Like y'all, we used to be so upset with our parents talking about, we'll go to timeout, like don't do nothing, this, that.
Right.
What? Right. Put me in a timeout real quick in my adult years. Okay, don't talk to me. I'm on do not disturb. Don't ring
don't ring my phone. Okay? Don't text me. No notifications.
Do I want to go somewhere? No. I'm gonna take this moment right here for me, and it's just gonna be for me because sometimes you need to be quiet in this chaos of a world. Right.
Quiet time. Well, since you mentioned quiet time for me started very early. Like I knew what quiet time was, because it was more on a religious aspect. My mother would do quiet time when she was studying the Bible, and as a Christian. So I knew quiet time was something that it was early in the morning, around 4:30, 5 a.m. It was her time to read the Bible. It was her time to pray. And I guess in the Christian way to meditate, really, and just to really focus and be thankful and just...
And reflect.
Most definitely. So that is my introduction of quiet time, but I always thought that it was just for adults.
Right. Right. I mean, but we're adults and we're talking about quiet time.
It's now that I'm, older.
Right.
Now, what my quiet time is.
Yes.
See, I just never thought I need quiet time. Never knew, that was, just an older thing. We're older now and I'm doing the same thing. So I found that really cool. And that was probably my introduction to quiet time. But as a kid, I hated quiet time.
What's that?
What? No, TV on.
Let's go somewhere. What we watching? Where we going? It's watching them coming over today. Can I go to the birthday party? What's quiet time?
Yeah.
Ripping and running.
But now that we love it, I
like a good quiet time. I have days where I'm like, okay, I'm not doing nothing today. And there'll be times where during that day, if you call me, I'm not gonna answer the phone, but I might text you back, be like, hey, you need something? Was it important? And then if you try
if you call me back a second time, I'm like, all right, something's up.
Nope,
If you call me text, if you call me twice, I'm like, all right, something's up.
Our rule in our families, if you don't leave no voicemail, it won't important.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
I know people don't leave voicemails no more, but if you don't leave no voicemail, it ain't important.
I keep looking down at this glass of mercy.
If you don't leave no voicemail, it's not important. We'll get back to you when we can.
Right.
That's just us. That's just because we know each other. That's just us enough in my family. But so a good quiet time is good. What else? What else you think are good mental things to do?
I'm always down for the self-love.
Right.
So self-care can even flow into that, again, bringing up the physical. But self-love is just the whole affirmations. I really don't have anything else. I'm focusing on self, and you deserve yourself to be at its greatest self. So
I think a part of that, even mentally, what does self-love mean mentally? So you have to dive a little bit deeper into that. And so
everyone's is different. That's why I don't.
But even still, a suggestion goes a long way with somebody. Like for me, mentally,
what makes you happy?
Okay, doing what makes you happy. Right. Another thing could be journaling. I did this challenge last year where it was basically where there was a list of people, and each day I had to write a letter to those list of people. I don't have to give it to them. I just have to write it down. Wow. And so to me, that was a mental challenge for me, because it's like, I ain't been thinking about these people.
Right, because in my mind, I won't say that. I don't want to say I don't care to write a note.
Right.
Or journal about
But you would be surprised at what a prompt would have you do. Now, some letters were short, and some letters was 2 pages long, and I was like, wait a minute. So does that mean I've been holding on to some stuff. I needed to get that out, you know. And then I'm also a person.
But was that showing love too, though? Was there also a positive when you wrote 2 pages?
Yes, there was some positive, because for me, I try to start every situation, whether it's a conversation with somebody about something difficult or writing those letters. I try to start with the positive before I go in with the negative.
Right.
Now there was some where I was like, no, it's negative. Everything my experience with that person was negative, so it was a negative letter.
Right.
But it doesn't mean I have to necessarily send it to that person.
Right.
It just means for me mentally, I needed to think about how that was impacting me and then get rid of it. So now some of them letters was pretty good for me, and I was like, okay, I'm glad I got that out the way.
Now, do you burn them?
Burn them? No, I might throw them in the trash. I mean, I don't want to burn.
Okay, so any letter that I write, I burn.
Okay.
And it's like releasing.
Similar to like when people write stuff on plates and stuff, and then they smash it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I've seen a few people.
I do it on a full moon. No witchery going on here. I'm just saying. I just feel like full moon, throwing away, it's restart. Yeah.
Right. I mean, well, whatever works for you. But I never.
You just throw them away. You didn't want to.
I mean, I could shred it because we got a shredder. But I'm just saying, like, I don't. For me, I mean, I ain't never been one to light stuff on fire.
Okay.
So
I love fire.
I just wasn't like, well, let me let this pot light this on fire. So to me, to me that sounds like, I guess I could. You see in a movie.
But as long as you got the feeling that the release.
The release. Now what I do with it afterwards, I don't know. Right. But that was different.
That's just that holding on. You don't realize how much of that
it's mental.
Woo, and it's still affecting you today, present.
Like right.
It's still to that present, and you realize, wow, an action can be done.
Right.
You're like, that individual reacted in a way and called me out. That's usually how I'm like told on myself.
Okay.
It's like I'll say something, and it's very the other person will know that's clearly something that I'm damaged from, and then they'll bring it forward, and I'm like, no, I'm not, and then. I'm really affected from that trauma in the past.
Yeah.
And then that is when I'm like, okay, what do I do to heal from this? Because I can't let this keep carrying on.
Yeah. Yeah. The mental is very
that's a strong ass muscle.
It really is.
That thing is strong.
And then even on the flip side though, mentally, you know how like you get spam emails. So recently I've been getting spam emails, and the email been saying like word of the day. So I was like, okay, well, why am I getting this? Because I didn't sign up for this, that, and the third. But then I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's learn a new word every day. So I started taking advantage of that.
How long did you do it for?
They sent me a word of the day every day.
Okay.
Now this started last year, maybe like October. I was like, what is this? And so I was like, well, I was going to delete it, but I was like, you know what? Let me just keep it. It don't look like I'm being charged for it. Don't look. It's knowledge. So even if I don't know what the hell the word. Because the thing is, it is kind of like Google. It's not through Google though. It gives you the word.
Okay.
It tells you what it is. It has a button that you can hit to say the word. I don't hit the button because, like I said, I think it's spam.
Okay.
But it has the definition and it like has the abbreviation, so you can it's spelled out for you, so you can say it correctly.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna learn some new words. Now, if I never heard it before, can't pronounce it later, nothing like that, at least mentally I'm reading it and I'm taking in the information, so that way if I see it again or if I want to use it, then I'll just go ahead and do so.
Right.
So even if I never use any of those words, at least I'm taking in something mental. But
because knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Ooh, come on.
So like I know we were talking about Audible. I have a subscription. I just ain't like change my information on there, but I was taking advantage of some of those books.
Yeah.
Especially being able to listen to it on the go. Or there's things out there that are actually like books to help you like progress in life.
Right. The Richest Man in Babylon, read that. Rich Dad Poor Dad, read that. I started reading The Power of Habit.
Okay.
And you really lose track of time. And I think also, if you have no problem, and meditation is different for everybody,
right?
You can listen to audibles while you're meditating.
Yeah, they do have because they have audible categories.
Diddy's on there.
Diddy is on there.
Diddy out there trying to serenade your ears, okay? Diddy out there, be one with the sun. Like he's out there doing that.
I seen that. Because I be low key trying to. It'd be hard trying to determine what you're gonna use your credit on. Okay. But then I be like, well, you know.
But his is free. His is free.
Yeah.
So get his.
But when it comes to like the other books, it's always hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, do I want to use a credit on one that's only like 3 hours?
Right.
Or do I use it on one that's like 15 hours that has different sections? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I be struggling. Sometimes.
I go either or.
Okay.
You know, I pick one, growth, and then fun.
Okay.
One
that makes sense.
Every other for me. That's what I do. Another thing is I think they need more Black authors on there.
You know what I started doing? Yeah. I started looking up Black authors on Google or the top Black authors.
Right.
And then I would take the information of books and go over there and see if they have it. Now, so I've looked up and some of the people are actually on there. But it just depends on what you're interested in and who that individual is.
Right. They don't have a lot. I didn't see a lot of black women self-affirmation books.
Gotcha.
I didn't see a lot of those. I did read, I think what's called the Handbook for Insecure Girls.
Oh.
And it was very good. It was by this English woman. So it was a good read, and her voice was very soothing because of the British accent or whatever. But I enjoy listening to books that way because I'm able to create my own image in my own head and just be able to take my own notes, on my phone or whatever, or I'm able to pause it and be able to rewind and go back and be able to listen to it. So that's why I enjoy it.
Yeah, so I think if you don't already have Audible, I mean, just look into it. It's free for you to go on there and just kind of see what they offer, what kind of books they offer. But it is
there's like a trial.
Yeah, there's a trial, and then there's like a monthly subscription. But I think it's a good thing for people who can't really handle reading a physical book. Yeah. But like if you're in your car, you want to listen to something. If you're cleaning up in the house and you want to listen to something, you play the audiobook. And it has some pretty cool stuff on there, so go ahead and check it out. So another mental thing, if you're just trying to learn some new information, if you want to start back reading or something like that, or get into knowledge, that's also a mental thing. We think of mental as like sometimes negative and trying to turn the negatives into positives, but it can also be positives and just making your mind a little bit more stronger because we don't use all the muscles and all of the attributes in our brains. We use this small amount. So go ahead and like push yourself if you can. But yeah, that is it for this 2-part series. We hope that we gave y'all some good information for physical goals as well as mental goals. Feel free as always if you want to put some things down in the comments that you're working on or that we have not already mentioned. We as always thank you all for the support. Go ahead, if you aren't already following us on Instagram and Facebook, Hella Melanated _ on Instagram and just Hella Melanated on Facebook. If you're gonna follow us on Facebook, follow the actual page, not the account, because we don't be posting that on the account. But yeah, that's what's up. We got some more stuff coming. February is gonna be a good month. So be on the lookout for that. We don't give y'all too much details. Don't give them too much. But be on the lookout for that because it's gonna be real good, real interesting. And you might learn a few things. Get a few resources.
Come on now.
But we always hear, like you said,
Black women are resourceful.
Yeah, we're very resourceful. But we are here for, like you said, we are here for the journey. We hope y'all is down for the ride too. So until next time, have a good day.
Bye.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all.